Hey everybody, this is Andrew Palmer coming at you from Saga, where storytelling meets technology. And today what I'm going to do is walk through how to start an original script from scratch and write a full screenplay for a feature-length movie. So sit back, relax, hit subscribe, and enjoy the show. I work with a production company in Toronto that makes action-packed, low-budget movies, and they asked me recently if I had any scripts that might fit into their wheelhouse. So I decided to write a brand new screenplay from scratch, and I want to walk you through the process today. So the first thing that I did was take a bunch of different ideas, put them into the log line, and hit generate so I could see some properly formatted log lines. There were a few that I really liked, so I took the top couple and went over to the Axe page. And the Axe page is great because you can take your log line and hit generate and see what kind of an Act 1 it comes up with. Once you have your Act 1, 2, and 3 finished, that is your general outline for the whole story, the full synopsis. So the next step that you want to do is to create all of the beats. So the general consensus is that there's about 40 beats in a 90-minute screenplay. So once you have your act page complete, you can go over to the beat page and start to expand it out into 40 different beats. 10 for every quarter of the film. Act 1, 2A, 2B, and 3. Now after the act page, and sometimes before, I'd like to go over to the character tab and start to define all of my characters. So you want to take some time, do that. Another really awesome feature of Saga is that you can go over to the storyboard page. Once your character bios are all completed, specifically the physical description field, you can just type the character's name into the storyboard description and it'll generate the same character every time. So you have continuity of the character throughout your storyboards. So I like to finish all my characters and then go to the storyboard page and make headshots for each one of them so I know who I'm working with. Then once you have all your beats done, you can hop over to the script page and start writing. Alright, so here we go. Now to start off, looks like I'm just deleting some text that I didn't really want in there that it generated. Redescribing a few pieces. I gave some dialogue to the main character instead of another one, and then put in some character names from other characters that I wanted in there. If you just select the beat when you're generating a new scene, it'll maybe write like a page of stuff for it, but if you want more than that written, 2 or 3 pages, then what I did there was I just went over the side panel and then selected a portion of the beat to generate a page from. So if you want to take a section of the beat and then stick it into the generate button, it'll come out with like another page, and then I'm just changing up who has some of the dialogue, giving it to my main guy Mercer. Yeah, so there I changed some of the dialogue and just rewrote it to act more like, to be more like walkie talk. I was never in the military, but Saga can make your dialogue sound more like military, which is cool. And then I'm gonna go grab another piece of the beat and generate with it. So it comes up with something. I just deleted the beginning, added a couple of things, changed up some of the dialogue. And yeah, I had a Conrad. I realized like as I was kind of going through, I had Conrad was kind of the guy that was watching them, so that's why I changed the dialogue to him. Generated another piece of the scene from a beat, and then I erased the top because I was just keeping that in the same scene, so I didn't need the slug line at the top or any of the first descriptions. So now I'm moving out of the prologue into the next beat. So here I started to get the idea. I thought, oh, this reminds me a little bit of the movie Cliffhanger. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's a great movie. Sylvester Stallone starts off the movie rock climbing, but trying to save a girl after her clip breaks and she falls to her death.
That clip's not gonna hold! Keep looking at me!
Oh, it's tragic. And then Sly's living all by himself up in some cabin.
Why can't you just believe you did everything you could?
Did I? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have gone out on that line. Maybe I panicked. I don't know.
This kind of really reminded me of that. This guy's just lost, his whole crew, And he's living all by himself in this cabin. He's kind of a drunk. But he's got his chickens and his horses. And I put in some of the beats into the generate tool. And the stuff that I was coming up with was great, you know. I usually, to fight the blank page, will find an image of something that I like. And I think kind of matches what I'm going for. In this case, Cliffhanger, you know, the wood cabin. And then I'll just use the image to describe what it looks like with words. So this works way better because I already have the beat written down of what I want it to be like, and it'll generate a great description with words. So it's much faster to the point. Plus it comes up with unique ideas. Sometimes I don't use them, but other times I think they're great, and maybe it's something I wouldn't have come up with too. So it really has an organic way of growing into a cool story. So my uncle has a farm, and he has some breast chickens. They're French. They've got blue feet. So this kind of reminded me of that. We went there one day to check them out, and saw the coop and everything. So he's got some Wagyu cattle too. So this kind of writing this was easy. So then the next beat, the need, you know, you always kind of have that one character in a movie who tells the protagonist what they need to learn. So I thought, you know, if this guy, this sort of actually reminded me of also the movie Wolverine Origins, when Logan's run away and he's living on his own. Just trying to live a normal life. And I figured that this character is going to want to work with other vets because, or you know, injured vets, something to try and help people, because he does like to help people in his character. He's a hero type, but you know, he's too messed up to go back out into the field. So he's still trying to help, but in his own way. Oh yeah, and I don't want it to go away. Yeah, he's punishing himself because he blames himself for losing his team. That's a harsh intro. It's like beginning of Up. So now he's gonna try and wade on through the mud of his life, and he's cooking. He's getting haunted by these visions of his dead teammates. And yeah, so the flashbacks to the mission, I think, is what inspired me there to start putting in some ghost images. Yeah, because the beat, I think it says like he starts to think of them, but then, yeah, when it wrote, the first dialogue was Conrad saying, "Ease up, it's just a meal." I thought, oh, you know what? It's like he's seeing ghosts. So I thought, this is a great idea, and I never would have come up with that on my own. Well, I might not have. It kind of reminds me of Sopranos, where Chris keeps seeing the dead guy that he killed during the coke deal.
Salami sub. Hold the mayo.
So I was thinking of that while I was writing this scene specifically, because the guy's all wrapped up and in that nightmare that Chris is having, and this kind of seems like this, where all these people are dead. Remind me, I thought a lot about the Tony Soprano dreams too while I was doing that. And here it looks like I've gone through and I've just sort of make sure that all the names were written the same way. So now it's the ghost. The Phantom. So I didn't want to give away who this character was at first, and I called it the figure just because I just wanted it to be some person. But I think maybe I go back, and since it is the Phantom, that I'm gonna go back and just call it the Phantom. So yeah, what happened there was it looked like the generate tool had come up with something that I thought was cool, and I'm just going back here to tie in that I have some guards maybe that he slipped past. So now I'm asking it to specifically write about these guards as a setup for the piece later that it had come up with. And then I was just trying to figure out in my head visually, okay, this is where he's coming from. And I thought, oh, I'll make it look like the guy's about to catch him. I wanted to have a nice tense moment. I think I had some movie on in the background, some military movie, to see what they were doing and how to raise some tension. So I had it look like this guard was about to catch the Phantom. So he opens the door, but as he's opening the door, turns out the Phantom's already gone. Oh, I gave it away because that hasn't happened yet. And, you know, the great, like, usually I would have to go through a script a few times before I did polishing pieces, but I'm kind of polishing it as I'm writing it because of the speed with which I can generate new pieces. So I find it really efficient for writing. I'm just doing some formatting changes. All right, now we're up to the inciting incident. Sarah Mitchell shows up. For writing this, I could just picture her, like, close up on her feet as she sort of walks in through the carnage of this place. And that's it. Thank you for watching today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and learned something. If you did, please comment below and hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.